snowboard trends. I'm happy to welcome you to this 55th International Ski Conference. It's always a pleasure to see all of you in person, and even more so when we
Greatness does not happen in the blink of an eye, just as mountains do not form overnight. Shifting across molten rock, converging tectonic plates are forced skyward, rising beyond the clouds. Where pressure is most extreme, the highest mountains rise. The same can be said of champions. Champions feed off the heat of competition. The pressure of life among the sporting elite. And ascend to new heights. And while others succumb to the unforgiving elements, the unrelenting march of time, there is something in the way champions are created. Something in their DNA that gives them the strength to resist, to persevere. For 100 years, FIS athletes have endured the heat of our greatest competitions on these ice-cold slopes, endeavored to make their mark in the pure white snow. But only those who can harness the heat, the elements, the pressure, rise the highest.
Here we go again. So, dear ski and snowboard friends, I'm very happy to welcome you all to this 55th International Ski Congress. It's always great to see you all, and particularly when we meet in a beautiful place like Reykjavik. And thank you to our Icelandic friends for being our hosts in this special year when FIS celebrates its 100th anniversary. The Congress is not only the highest authority in ski and snowboard, it's also a symbol of how far we've come, of how snow sports are ever more global, and how our decision bodies reflect this. This is a democratic forum to look after the welfare of the entire ski and snowboard community around the whole world. I'm very proud to open this Congress. But before we move on to the many important discussions and decisions of today, I'd like to invite you to take a moment to honor the members of the ski and snowboard community that have sadly left us over the last 12 months. So, to their memory, a moment of silence. Thank you. Let's start the activities with some housekeeping information as well as an introduction to legal matters and voting procedure. And for that, I hand it over to Michel and our legal counsel, Stefan Netzler.
Thank you, Johan, and welcome to all FIS members. A few practical indications for us, starting with a very important one. Please remember to switch off your telephone, please. Regarding the voting procedure, let me remind you, over the course of the Congress, the President will be asking for some informal vote and non-contentious issues. This will allow us to move faster and concentrate on a more essential part of this meeting. So be ready for that. If a show of hands is requested, please make sure you clearly raise your hand higher enough. In the event that the member association wish to leave the Congress before the end of the meeting, the delegates must notify to me, Secretary General, to log out the electronic voting system and return accreditation as per Article 10.9.3 of the statutes. Today's voting will be carried out electronically through the system provided by LUMI. Voting is scrutinized in the LUMI offices by 3 appointed scrutiners as well as a notary public. For the electronic votes that we have later, I ask you already to log in to the LUMI system so we can start checking that everything is in order. The whole process is overseen by Dr. Stefan Netzler, who will take us through a few other legal aspects for today's meeting. Up to you, Stefan.
Thank you, Michel. Ladies and gentlemen, the FIS statutes adopted at the FIS Congress of 25th May 2023 govern today's Congress meeting. Today's Congress is the annual ordinary Congress according to Article 10.3.1 of the statutes. It is held as a physical meeting. The invitations together with the Congress agenda and the supporting documentation have been sent out to you in time, namely 1 month before today's meeting. To the quorum. The Congress can take valid decisions if 50% of all votes are present in person. Whether this is the case today and the Congress has met the required quorum of attendance is subject to the roll call, which is the next agenda item. The quorum of attendance may change if a member association leaves the Congress, definitely, as Michel has already addressed before. In such a case, the respective member association shall notify Michel, the Secretary General, and log out of the LUMI system. We will then have to carry out a new roll call for the next voting round. Leaving the desk to grab a coffee and returning thereafter is not considered leaving the Congress. If a member association misses the voting because of a temporary absence of its delegates, that member association is deemed to have abstained from voting on that particular topic. Proposal and motions. Proposals have the purpose of bringing about a decision of the Congress on a specific matter of substance as listed in Article 10.2.1 of the statutes. The Congress may take decisions only on the listed agenda points. This includes the proposals of the member associations and the Council which were submitted in time. Proposal must be distinguished from procedural motions such as requesting open or secret voting, or whether such options are provided by the statutes, or changing the sequence of the agenda items. Procedural motions require 50% plus 1 vote of all valid votes cast. Voting. Article 10.8.2 says that in principle voting shall be conducted by way of electronic voting. That is the voting organized by LUMI, as already said by Michel. Voting by show of hands is the exception to the principle. However, the President may order voting by show of hand where a clear result can be expected based on his mandate to direct the Congress. If the voting is carried out by show of hands, the votes will not be counted one by one. If voting by show of hands does not lead to a clear result, the voting will be repeated by the LUMI system. If the voting is carried out by LUMI, you will see all results of every voting on the screen above. The Congress takes decisions on the basis of a majority of more than 50% of all valid votes cast, with the exception of changes of the statutes which require a majority of 2/3 of all valid votes cast. What is a valid vote cast? When there is a voting, you will be asked to accept or reject the proposal by checking the yes box or the no box before you submit the vote. If you want to abstain, you simply don't click a box and you cannot push the send button. When the result of the voting is shown, you see the number of yes and the numbers of no. And you see the number of all those who are present but did not vote. Those are the abstentions. Valid votes are all yes and no votes. Abstentions are not valid votes, as I said. The council members and the president are not entitled to vote. In case of a tie, the vote will be repeated. If there is still a tie, the proposal is not accepted. The Congress has also to elect the council today. This will also be done by the Lumi system, but I will explain this procedure just before these elections take place. There will be minutes of this Congress meeting in English as provided by Article 10, 11, 1 and 2. Every member has the right to appeal against the decision of the Congress which violates the statutes or the law. Such an appeal of a decision of this Congress must be submitted to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, within 21 days from today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Taking the occasion of this thorough overview, I'd like to hold our first couple of votes by a show of hands. So for the sake of efficiency, for all of these votes, you should only raise your hand if you're opposed to the proposal. Again, only if you're against the proposal, you should raise your hand. If you're opposed to accepting the legal aspects as proposed by Dr. Netzler, please show your hands now. Good, that seems to work. As I see no hands raised, this item has been approved. Now I'd like to go to the first point here of, or second point, and that is that there are a few NSAs due to various reasons that could not travel here. These are cancelled flights, in some cases visas could not be issued, not at the fault of these nations, but rather due to logistical complexities. Now, they have been invited, subject to your approval, to attend and also vote at this Congress. But again, this is subject to your approval, so therefore, if anyone is opposed to Algeria, Belgium, Hong Kong, now I've seen Hong Kong here, so I'm not sure that's, yeah. India, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Mongolia, and Pakistan. If any of you are opposed to joining the Congress virtually, raise your hands. I see no hands raised, so this item has been approved. Thank you very much. And now let's move on to the roll call. Michel.
Thank you, Johan. I will now proceed with calling the names of the countries that are present, along with the number of votes assigned to each of them. I will ask everyone to say yes as long as the name is read. So, Albania, Algeria, Albania, one vote. Algeria, one vote.
No, Algeria is not present.
Thank you. Andorra, for one vote. Argentina, for 2 votes. Armenia, for 1 vote. Australia, for 3 votes. Austria for 3 votes. Yeah. Good to hear.
Austria is in the house.
Belgium for 1 vote.
Yes, present.
Bosnia and Herzegovina for 1 vote. Belarus for 2 votes. Yes. Bolivia for 1 vote. Brazil for 1 vote. Yes. Bulgaria for 2 votes. Yes. Canada for 3 votes. Yes. Chile for 2 votes. Yes. China for 3 votes. Croatia for 2 votes. Cyprus for 1 vote. Czechia for 3 votes. Denmark for 2 votes. Spain for 2 votes. Estonia for 1 vote. Finland for 3 votes. France for 3 votes. Great Britain for 3 votes. Georgia for 1 vote. Germany for 3 votes. Greece for 2 votes. Hong Kong for 1 vote. Hungary for 1 vote. India for 1 vote.
Yes.
Iran for 2 votes. Ireland for 1 vote. Iceland for 1 vote. Israel for 1 vote. Italy for 3 votes. Japan for 3 votes. Kazakhstan for 2 votes. Kyrgyzstan for 1 vote. Korea for 2 votes. Kosovo for 1 vote. Latvia for 1 vote. Lebanon for 2 votes. Liechtenstein for 1 vote. Lithuania for 1 vote.
Yes.
Luxembourg for 1 vote. Morocco for 1 vote. Mexico for 1 vote. Mongolia for 1 vote.
Yes.
Republic of North Macedonia for 1 vote. Montenegro for 1 vote. Monaco for 1 vote. Netherlands for 3 votes. Nepal for 1 vote. Norway for 3 votes. New Zealand for 2 votes. Pakistan for 1 vote.
Yes.
Poland for 3 votes. Portugal for 1 vote. Democratic People's Republic of Korea for 1 vote.
Yes.
Romania for 1 vote. South Africa for 1 vote. Russia for 3 votes. Slovenia for 3 votes. San Marino for 1 vote. Serbia for 1 vote. Switzerland for 3 votes. Slovakia for 1 vote. Sweden for 3 votes. Thailand for 1 vote. Thailand, 1 vote. IFA?
No.
So Thailand, not in the room. Chinese Taipei for 1 vote. Turkey for 2 votes. United Arab Emirates for 1 vote.
Yes.
Ukraine for 2 votes.
Yes.
United States of America for 3 votes. Yes. And Uzbekistan for 1 vote. So, where's my list now?
Mr. Secretary General,
Yes.
may I have a short comment.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Dear Mr. President, dear Mr. Secretary General, dear Congress participants, my name is Julia Siparenko from Ski Federation of Ukraine. And as you know, for more than 2 years, Ukraine resists the unprovoked military aggression from Russian Federation assisted by Belarus. Every single day, we face missile attacks that ruin our infrastructure and kill civilian people, including athletes and coaches. In this situation, Ski Federation of Ukraine strongly objects that individual representatives from these nations should take part in person in the FIS Congress unless these individuals show that they condemn such aggression in any form. From all our community, I thank you for your understanding and attention. Thank you.
Your comments are noted. We live sometimes in very difficult times. The one thing which is very important is that sports and politics are kept separate, and no one can choose where they were born. And unfortunately, the athletes sometimes get into the middle of this, and that creates complexities and difficulties for everybody involved. And remember, athletes, they have short careers, and they suffer greatly from situations like this. We have so far always sought to follow the IOC, their recommendations, and this is something that we have done since the beginning of this conflict, in fact, going way back in time. And yeah, all I can say is we greatly sympathize with your country and the suffering that is endured. And we hope that this conflict will come to a swift end.
Thank you, Johan. Then I can confirm that 74 nations are present, amounting a total of 127 valid votes. 127 valid votes. Thank you. Back to you, Johan.
Thank you, Michel. This takes us to agenda item number 3, the approval of the agenda for today's Congress. Following yesterday's meeting, the Council has agreed to propose the inclusion of 3 last-minute topics to the initial agenda that was submitted to all of you on the 5th of May. And they concern statutory changes regarding the athletes' representatives in the Council, an additional affiliation request to become an associate member, and a request from Para Snowsports regarding calendar and registration fees. So if the Congress agrees that these topics are imperative and should be added to the agenda, they will be submitted for approval as part of their respective agenda items. So I would like the Congress to please vote. So raise your hand in case you're opposed to the inclusion of these 3 topics as part of today's agenda. Okay, I see no raised hands, so thank you very much. I take that as approved. So therefore, already considering the 3 additional proposals, again, please only raise your hands in case you're opposed to approving the full agenda for today's Congress. I see no raised hands, so I take the agenda as approved. Thank you very much. Now, let's vote for the election of the certifier of the minutes for today's Congress, as well as the 3 tellers. All of these names were proposed by the Council. So let's start with the certifier of the minutes in the English language, which is Rory Tapner from Great Britain. Raise your hands, please, only in case you're opposed to the appointment. I see no hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And on to the election of Eddie Marshbaum, Andrew Smith from Quest, and Matthew Ryder from Lumi as the 3 tellers. Again, please only show your hands in case you're opposed to the appointment. I see no hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. According to Article 10(a)(3) of the statutes, the 3 tellers be supervised by a certified notary public, Edward Gardner from Cheese Rights Notaries, and next to the approval of, I see any hands raised? No, so I take it that Edward Gardner is approved as notary public. Next, the approval of the minutes of last year's Congress, which has been reviewed as per the feedback received from the NSAs, which have been shared with you on May 5th. And let me say something here. Obviously, as you can see, this Congress is a huge production. There's tons of man-hours that go into this. And we try, obviously, to have everything as prepared as possible. But we can never prepare this to absolute perfection. And that is because after we send this out, there is a lot of back and forth, and we have a council meeting, there are changes, and slide presentations have to be changed, scripts have to be changed, texts have to be changed, all in a very short time period, when there is, of course, tons of other stuff going on, organization, etc. So there is bound to be errors. Now, I have to say, we have a first-class team doing this, and they get 99.999%. And we should always strive for 100%. And thanks to our honorable gentleman from Austria, Mr. Scherer, who has pointed out that there were a few discrepancies. I want to point that out, and we will keep working on that to get this to the 100% level, which I'm sure we will with his great help. So that said, I'd like to make the following caveat to this approval, and that is we will approve the minutes, but there will be some adjustments which we will elaborate with Austria to get this 100% right. So, raise your hands if you're opposed to the minutes. Okay, I see no hands raised, so thank you very much. I take the minutes of the 23 Congress as approved. Thank you. Now it's time for me to look back at what were 12 very eventful months since our last Congress in May 23. Since I'm sure you'll hear enough from me on this stage today, we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to present this in a video. So let's have a look. Let me start with a message for the FIS family. Athletes, members, organizers, sponsors, partners, staff, everybody. Thank you. A huge thank you. Because it's thanks to you that this season was a success. Looking back, there are so many highlights. The incredible talent at the Winter Youth Olympics in Korea, those thrilling World Cup races in Bansko, the FIS Para Biathlon World Championships and the Para World Cup, showing that para sports are every bit as exciting as the rest. I always said that inclusion isn't just a box-ticking exercise, and this season has proved that beyond doubt. I hope you got to experience some brilliant events. Maybe you were at the Junior World Ski Championships, or you caught the Freeride World Tour. Or maybe you were at the FIS Ski Flying World Championships, where Stefan Kraft took the title in front of an ecstatic crowd. Whatever you experienced, we can say with pride that this was a brilliant season. Behind the scenes, we at FIS have been working incredibly hard. And through that work runs three key words: responsibility, growth, and value. Let's start with the most important of those, responsibility. As the stewards of snow sports, we have a great responsibility, not just to everyone involved in skiing and snowboarding, but also to the planet. The cancellation of some Alpine World Cup races was disappointing indeed, and it reinforced that the fight for climate action is real. Just talking about responsibility is cheap. What matters is action. Our FIS Impact program is exactly that, our call to action. It's full of milestones to hold us accountable, and I trust that you will join us in this mission. As well as responsibility, our work is about growth. We want to see skiing and snowboarding engage fans from the mountains to the cities. That's why last year we held the first FIS Summit for developing ski nations. 47 countries, one central message. At FIS, each NSA is equally special. To prove that commitment, this year we launched our new development and membership hubs. Whether through mentoring, training, camps, or coaches clinics, this is all about sharing and learning together. We increased our investment to seize all the opportunities that are out there for our sports. The final word running through everything we do at FIS is value. To add value, we need to embrace new tech, create new formats, develop engaging content, and we're well on our way. This year we increased our number of major sponsors. We had a complete transformation of our digital offering, and we increased our social media reach by an astonishing 87%. Most importantly, we took great strides on centralizing our media rights. For too long, FIS and its members were denied the ability to seize commercial opportunities. We couldn't determine our own destiny. It is a tough business out there, competing with other sports for athletes and fans. And let's face it, we fell behind sports like Formula One, football, and other global sports. I became president on a promise that we would change this, so we're pressing ahead with centralization. This last year, we drew up an agreement with the agency in front and began the process. FIS will have control over the media rights, working closely together with the World Cup NSAs for a better product, a long-term calendar, and a successful future for our sport. The good news is, centralization will benefit us all. It will give us improved services for all organizations involved with the sport. It will provide development of all our disciplines. It will give us bigger rewards for athletes and also more money for all our members. So I'm very pleased to announce that centralization will result in a special distribution of 30 million over the next 2 years in equal shares for all our members. On top of that, how proud can we be that with the agreement we will be guaranteed to receive more revenues than before in a declining market. With higher quality, more engaging content and a bigger reach, we'll fulfill our mission to represent all our member associations and safeguard a future for professional skiing and snowboarding. As we do so, we're also generating attractive events to help draw more audiences to our sports. 100 years ago, FIS was born, starting a journey that would take our sport from a niche European pastime to a global phenomenon. From 14 members to 140, from 3 disciplines to 13. It's been a phenomenal journey. That's thanks to the countless thousands of athletes, FIS members, organizers, partners, and staff who together made this happen. We transformed winter sports over the past 100 years, and we will make sure our future is just as brilliant as our past. So this is all a result of your work, all of you. So thank you for another great year of snow sports. And as we talk about the past year, let's now follow up on the status of 3 proposals that were submitted to the Congress in 23. I'll start with a proposal submitted by Austria, Germany, and Switzerland regarding the hosts of FIS World Championships. And some basic parameters are clearly established in the run-up to a possible candidature. For example, that hosting contracts should specify the exact amount to be provided by FIS to the respective member association as organizers. This was taken into account in the agreements with the hosts that were appointed by the Council yesterday. So the second proposal was brought forward by Austria regarding the advertising rules and financial opportunities for national federations and/or organizers. And FIS has agreed to review the matter from time to time and find practical solutions. Finally, regarding the proposal brought forward by Austria, France, and Switzerland related to the FIS reserves. And here I want to point out that some countries we talk about reserves, in others we don't. And here we obviously make determination that we can make distributions or provide financial support based on not only the current picture of where we stand, but also our future prospects. And that is the methodology that we apply as a council when we make these assessments. Now, the detailed explanation of each proposal, as you know, is available in the Congress book that was provided before this meeting. So just to inform you about that. The next point in our agenda today relates to a series of proposed amendments to the statutes. And as you can see on the screen, some of the proposals that were originally in the agenda have been withdrawn by the NSAs that originally submitted them. And we also have a few proposals by the Council that also have been withdrawn. Besides this, there is also one proposal that has been tabled, as you can see on the slide. So if there are no questions regarding the proposals that have been withdrawn or tabled, I would suggest that we move on to voting on the remaining statutory changes. And before that, let's make sure that we're comfortable with the Lumi electronic voting system. So we'll now present you with a test question. And please answer it with your system so we can check that everything is in order.
May we have some information here?
Yes.
Regarding the notary, I'm just checking that you can hear me in the meeting.
The vote is now closed and the result will be displayed shortly. The results of the test vote are displayed on the screen. Yes 75, no 43. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great. That means we can start going through the proposals. So, Mr. Scherer?
Thank you, Mr. President. As I recall correctly, the Secretary General said there are 127 votes in the room. Now it's 128. So where is the discrepancy coming from? Thank you for elaboration on this.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, Thailand is missing. As we have seen, Thailand is missing. But just to understand twice in a good way, Amanda.
I think we had 120.
28 votes.
Yeah. So, but before we had 100 and, in fact, 126, if I recall it correctly. Was it 127? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, who are the ones that were not called up?
It's only Thailand who is not here.
Okay, but who else was called out as not here? Which one?
Only Thailand. Only Thailand. Only Thailand was missing,
But
right?
then it's correct.
Then it's
Also
correct, yes.
Algeria.
Algeria, yes. Yes, so two.
Thailand and Algeria, right.
And what? Just to clarify, so that Algeria and Thailand are not present. So the total possible votes are 129, which means that it should be 127, and there is one link that has been doubled up that needs to be shut down.
Mongolia.
Sorry, so Mr. President, it's a notary. Just to confirm that both Algeria and India have logged on recently.
Okay, thank you for that.
So you should make the process again. So then we have 128 with Algeria again.
Okay. In that case, with Algeria, then it adds up to 128. Any questions, any comments? We all satisfied? Thank you. Yeah, changes to Article 2.4, were originally proposed by the Council, which now suggests a few amendments to the text that you will find on page 36 of the Congress book. The amended proposal is now on the screen and is the one on which we will vote. So please raise your hands if you're opposed to this proposal. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And let's go to the next proposal. Before we vote on the proposal by the Council to amend Article 2 to 10, which relates to the integration of free ride as a FIS discipline, I would like to invite onto stage Nicholas Hale Woods, who's the CEO of the Free Ride World Tour. Nicholas, please.
Dear President, dear Congress members, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to be standing in front of you to advocate freeride skiing and snowboarding to become an FIS official discipline. Freeride skiing is as old as skiing itself, practiced by our great grandparents, discovering the joy of gliding. Today, 240 freeride competitions, uniting 8,500 riders as of 8 years old, take place from Argentina to Alaska, New Zealand to Norway, and more recently, Scotland, Greece, Georgia, and China joined the family. Organizers in Lebanon, Macedonia, and Iran are next. All you need is a slope, snow, and passionate people. Together with you, national ski associations, we will grow these numbers. We will promote safety, expand our skiing community, appeal to the world's youth, and be stronger in this very competitive sports and entertainment world. The vision and objective is to bring the sport to the Olympics. In the name of the FIS FWT management, host resorts, sponsors, riders, parents, coaches, organizers, and media, I thank you for the historical moments we are about to build together. Long live skiing. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Any questions, anybody? So let me say this just to qualify one thing, and that is the ICR changes that we need to do, that will be done in the ordinary course and will be approved by the Council, as so everybody is aware. So, since there are no questions, let's proceed to vote. So, anyone who's opposed, please raise your hands. I see no hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Nicholas and Freeride. Now let's move to Article 6120. As you can see on the screen and in the Congress book on page 37, this is a proposal by the Council. So again, if you have anyone who's opposing, please raise your hands. So I cannot see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Article 862. And as you can see on the screen and the Congress book, this page 37, this is also a proposal by the Council. So anyone who is opposed, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And the next proposal is Article 10.2.1.3. Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland have reviewed the proposal that they had originally submitted, which you find on page 28 of the Congress book. The amended proposal is now shown on the screen and is the one which we will be voting on. So again, if anyone is opposed, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now let's move to Article 10.5.1. And as you can see on the screen and the Congress book on page 29, this is a proposal by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. This is in, yeah, so please, if you have any objections to this, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. We can move to Article 10.10.2.2. This is another proposal by the Council that has been amended, and it's different from what you see on page 38 of the Congress book. And the amended text is now on the screen and is the one which we will be voting on. So if you oppose this, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised. So I take this as approved. Thank you very much. Now we go to Article 10.6.6, as you can see on the screen, and in the Congress book 30, page 30, this is a proposal by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland, and is supported by the Council. So if there are any objections to this, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Article 11.3.3.7 is another one that has been amended by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. And in comparison to the original proposal that you can find on page 28 of the Congress book. The amended proposal is now shown, and this is the one we will be voting on. So anyone opposed? Don't see anyone opposing it, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now moving to Article 15.2.1.1c, as you can see on the screen and in the Congress book on page 38, proposal by the Council. Anyone opposed, raise your hands. I do not see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Article 15.2.2.1a is another one that has been amended from its original version proposed by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland, and which you can find on page 28 of the Congress book. The amended proposal is now shown on the screen and is the one that we will be voting on. Please raise your hands if you're opposed. I don't see any hands raised, so I take this as approved. Thank you very much. Article 15.2.3 3A, as you can see on the screen and on page 39 of the Congress book. This is a proposal by the Council. So if you're opposed, please raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now we go to Article 18.4.1, as can be seen on the screen and in the Congress book on page 39. It's also a proposal by the Council. If there are any objections, please raise your hands. I don't see any objections, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Then we go to Article 18.4.2. Is this correct? Yes, 18.4.2, as can be seen on the screen and in the Congress book on page 39. It's also a proposal by the Council. If there are any objections, please raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Let's move to Article 18.5, which you can see on the screen and on page 39 in the Congress book. It's also a proposal by the Council. Raise your hands if you have any objections. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And now, at its meeting yesterday, the Council decided to propose that 2 para-athlete representatives should be on the Council. And therefore, the Articles 10.10.3.1, 10.10.3.2, 11.1.1, 11.1.1c, 11.4.1.1, and the respective definition in Article 19 are proposed to be amended as shown on the screen. If you have any objections, please raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Furthermore, the FIS Council also decided that 2 athlete representatives shall be in the executive committee, where 1 must be representing para-snow sports. Therefore, the Council proposes to amend Article 12.1.1, as well as the respective definition in Article 19, as shown on the screen. So if anybody objects, please raise your hand. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for taking part in... Yes?
Dear Mr. President, I think the...
You're absolutely correct.
Sorry for pointing it out.
But we're not changing that, correct?
No, but
we're not changing it, so it's already in the statute, so there's no need to pass any resolution.
Keep the treasurer in the executive committee, yes.
Treasurer will remain.
Treasurer will remain in the... Yeah, just to point out here, so if anyone has any objections, this is incorrect here, as correctly pointed out. The treasurer should remain on the executive committee. Any objections? Well, we don't. Well, since we voted on it, we now have to reverse that vote. So therefore, any objections to that, please raise your hands. Thank you very much. I see no hands raised, so thank you. Then, yeah. So again, thank you very much for taking part reviewing the statutes. So now it's time to vote on a few proposals by our member associations and the Council that are directly related to the rules. And let me remind you that these proposals are available in their entirety in the Congress book. Still, should there be any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So first, starting with the proposal by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland to review the structure and responsibilities of the committees. So The Council supports this initiative. So if you have any objections to this, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And then we have proposal 9.2 by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland, which has been withdrawn. Regarding the proposal by Armenia, Iran, and Lebanon of reverting FIS point calculations for cross-country to the system used before the 23-24 season, the Council has agreed to refer the matter to the cross-country committee. To explain the decision by the committee, I give the floor to Michel.
Thank you, Johan. As you said, I mean, the Council reviewed this proposal. It was already a long topic even last year and 2 years ago from our friend from Armenia, Iran, and Lebanon. We have a clear position from the cross-country committee, and I don't know if it's on the screen. Yes, it's on the screen. So you can read it, of course, and then the committee said clearly that we should not change the rules up to now, with many consequences. But I can ask Michael Lamplot, if you are in the room, you can have some more explanation if you are not so. Where are you, Michel? Can you come just to explain eventually the decision of, because it's a long story for many years now, so we should clear definitely the story. Then if you can just a few words for us to explain the decision you took in the cross-country committee. Thank you, Michel.
Good morning. The cross-country committee discussed the proposal of which you saw on the screen to change the FIS points calculation, and it was decided or proposed to keep the FIS points calculation as it was. The change which has been done 2 years ago was to prevent possible manipulations when it comes to FIS points calculation. And this was the reason to keep it. That said, we are also at the beginning of the qualification period for the Olympic Winter Games, so to change the FIS points calculation now would be very late and would have an impact on the Olympic qualification. The FIS points in general, for some groups of athletes, are worse than used to be in the past, but this aspect has been compensated by adjusting the eligibility limits for Olympic Winter Games, World Ski Championships, and as well the World Cup. So the bottom line is it is actually a calculation formula, so rather a technical aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Michel, for those explanations, and thank you.
Thank you, Michel.
Yeah.
And finally, the proposal by the Council to amend Article 9.4 has also been withdrawn. So, and now to the proposals by the member associations that are not directly related to the rules. So starting with 10.1, the proposal by Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland has been withdrawn. And the same for 10.2. Now, 10.3, the proposal from Austria regarding cut-resistant underwear on alpine skiing. I want to say that the FIS Council support this proposal. It's a very important initiative and something that the Athletes' Health Unit has been working very hard on, and so if there is anyone who's opposed, please raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised. Thank you very much. Take that as approved. And we have another proposal from Austria regarding competition suits in 10.4, which the Council also supports. So any objections, please raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised, so thank you very much. I take that as approved. 10.5, this proposal has been withdrawn by Austria. And finally, regarding the proposal from Austria regarding the integration of NSA experts in the Athletes Health Unit project groups, which the Council wholeheartedly supports. So again, please raise your hands if you have any objections. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now I would like to take you through some pieces of information regarding the Olympic Winter Games. Recently, the IOC has made a few announcements and decisions, which include if we start with Milano Cortina, that we need to pay attention here that all the planning is on schedule, and we're monitoring this very closely. I can also say that we have excellent relations with the IOC, very close contact, very good collaboration at every level, and I will in fact meet President Bach in a couple of days to go over a list of items. So on every level here, we have very good relations. We're also in discussions about new disciplines, and we're hopeful that for 2030 and 2034, we'll have many new additions that will add to the excitement and engagement with what FIS does, which is, of course, very important. Now, I should also add that sustainability, which is very high up on our agenda, is something that the IOC also pays a lot of attention to, and during the course of this year, I was asked to join the Sustainability and Legacy Commission of the IOC, and I'm pleased to report that here very good work is being done to further efforts at every level, everywhere, to mitigate the impact of what the games do. And this is, of course, something that we also take very seriously, and you have seen that in our impact report, which I should add that the whole sports community are very impressed by. And Susanna, I know you're here in the room. Thank you very much for all your good and really hard work to make this happen. Now, besides this, prior to this meeting, you all have received the latest reports from the Youth Olympic Winter Games in Gangwon 2024, which, as well as the Milano Cortina Games 2026. I want to especially thank our Korean friends for putting on a great event. Fantastic organization, and I had the pleasure of being there myself. Sadly, I had to miss some events over here, but our schedules during the winter are very busy. And it was a great pleasure to see this firsthand in Gangwon. So, similarly, we all have received the final report from the Ski Flying World Championships in Kulm as well as progress reports from the organizers of each of the upcoming World Championships. If you have any questions here, please feel free to ask questions.
Sorry, Mr. President. I am still didn't understand what's happened for our proposal about the cross-country rules. We didn't vote about it. Only we have received comment from the committee, and we didn't withdraw our proposal by Iran, Lebanon, and Armenia.
So, Baram, we can hold a vote on it if you would like. I can also offer that we elaborate on this in greater detail with the committee, Michel, after the Congress, as you wish.
Because I have what I see from the committee is not true. The Olympic qualification is same as it was 4 years ago. And this new system is changing the Olympic qualification. We didn't have any change from the Beijing to here. And we had that FIS point rule working there. This FIS point system is mathematically wrong, not for our country, for everyone. They have deleted the best athlete in the calculation of the FIS point. This is not possible because in the calculation, the best athlete will determine the FIS point for the others. If the best athlete is beating too much the others or less, the FIS point of the others will be changed, and it opened the manipulation for the competition. All we have received from the committee was not true in my point of view by reason I told. This is not possible to change the mathematics of the FIS point rule. I don't know what's happened that they did it. You can imagine the best athlete will not count for FIS point. If the best athlete is too much good, then he have to balance FIS point with his power. This is not true. This opened the manipulation. Then the good athletes is not coming to competition or they go slow. And many, many problems in this system. We would like to ask a voting for this to see what's going on.
Baram, we can of course have a vote, and we will have a vote certainly. But I mean, we are discussing this topic since years now, and then we all understand that we should be fair to everyone, especially for small countries. But once again, we have a kind of process with committees, with experts, race directors. And then they are discussing for a long, long period on the last 6 months. We were in Portoros 1 month ago discussing this. I was not in the meeting, to be honest, but I mean, they know that there are a lot of discussion on that with top experts, all the experts of all the NSAs in the room there. So then at the end of the day, it was a clear decision that we should not change the rule as such. And then, once again, we are well aware that sometimes the rules are you can suffer about the rules, but rules are the rules. And then, as Michel Lamplot explained exactly the situation here, we have decided, and the committee have decided, that we should not change the rules. And the council support this decision. So we can have a vote. We can ask President to ask for a vote, and will be perhaps the best solution at the end. But at the end of the day, we can discuss afterwards, after the meeting, if you want, with Lamplot, myself, we can try to see what we can do. But this proposal was quite clear, decided, and supported by the council. So, Johan, up to you, if you want to have a vote.
I am sorry. Can I add some information?
Gagik.
Yeah. Gagik Sargsyan, President of the Armenian Ski Federation. We proposed this and showed the arguments during the last Rules and Control Committee. And the situation is following. After 1 year, after the last season, we calculated FIS points of our best athletes, and we are losing 3 times of the points. Our athletes participating for the World Cup stages as well. There, they are receiving average 80 or 70 or 80 FIS points. But during our championships inside of our countries. They are receiving 235 FIS points. It's crazy. It's not interesting for our leaders anymore participate inside our countries. It's the fact we introduce it, and for the future, please, before they make some changes, make the pilot calculation or something else for one season, and next to receive it just for the calculation. We can discuss it after the Congress, please.
Thank you. We will do so, but you can imagine we cannot take each example from each country to see if it's fit or not. I mean, it should be a global rules. The fact that we open the criteria for the Olympic Games should be a good sign. So open to discuss after the meeting if you want.
Yes, please, but we are speaking about the manipulation, but we are opening the door for the next manipulations. Please.
I think here, Gagik, Baram, if you both agree here, we
yes,
have a discussion with Michel.
Yes, please.
We are the Congress. I don't think
yes.
a vote serves a purpose here.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. So, you've had the reports in the Congress book covering the snowboard, freestyle and free ski World Championships 25 Engadin, the Alpine World Ski Championships Saalbach 25, the Nordic World Ski Championships 25 Trondheim, Ski Flying World Championships 26 Oberstdorf, the Alpine Ski World Championships 27 Crans-Montana, the Nordic World Ski Championships 27 in Falun, and the Snowboard Freestyle Free Ski World Championships 27 Montafon. So let me say to all organizers, thank you so much for the incredible work you're putting in together with the best of the best for making these great sport events happen around the world. And I'm sure that your efforts will be an inspiration for the future hosts that the Council elected yesterday here in Reykjavik. So let's give them a big round of applause. Yeah, the Ski Flying World Championships in Planetza, the Snowboard Freestyle and Free Ski World Championships in Zhangjiakou, the Alpine Ski Championships, Narvik and 29 and Valgarena 31. Really want to say congratulations, you all. We're really looking forward to visiting you over the next few years. And again, a big round of applause to you guys. I also like to say one thing here, and that is whenever there is a contest, there is a loser. And I think yesterday of the Alpine Ski World Championships, there were no losers. Unfortunately, there were only 2 that could be elected out of 3. And I'd also like to suggest that we give a big round of applause for Andorra, because you really put together a spectacular proposal, and we hope that you will continue to apply, because one day we will have World Championships in Andorra, I'm sure. The next point on the agenda relates to the... Yeah, Christian.
Thank you, Mr. President. A short question. So we all hope that the Finnish Ski Association and the city of Lahti will comply with the provisions for hosting the Nordic World Championships in 2029. But what is about the process in case there will be not a solution be found? So is there again an open application phase, or what is the the procedural situation there? Thank you.
So we have given the Lahti bid 30 days until the 4th of July to comply. If we can't find a solution by then, in all likelihood, we will open up the bid process to select a new candidate. But we hope it will not come to that. Yeah, so the next point on the agenda is, sorry, gentleman from Canada.
Sorry, just a quick comment on the last 2 points. Thank you, Mr. President. We've seen a receding of the number of test events that are related to World Championships and Olympic Games over the last number of editions. I would hope that we would be able to get back to a place where, in order to ensure that we have the proper development of officials, of venues, and preparation for athletes for our events that are our highest profile events, that we have a rigorous volume of test events on the way into those major events and games.
No, absolutely, and this is something that we take great care of to ensure that venues are tested beforehand. And in the selections that we made yesterday, they're all tried and tested, some more than others. And leading up to events, big events, we make sure that we have test events sometimes several times. I mean, Val Gardena will have a test event every year until 31, that's guaranteed. But that applies in every case. In relation to?
We're talking about Milano Cortina as such, or mostly as I understood? Yeah. Can I assure you that all the FIS team is working every day with the Milano Cortina organizing committee to find the best solutions. We know they have some delay on the constructions, especially on the jumping side, Pedazzo, and mostly also on the Livigno for all the park and pipe. So we are working very, very hard, and Sandra, who is over there, she's in charge of the relationship with the Milano Cortina. So we'll try to do our best. For the moment, they are still in the calendar. As you have seen on the drafts, they are still in the calendar for 25. Hopefully, we can have this test event. We are always thinking about the safety of the athletes, and so with some disciplines, ski cross, snowboard cross, slopestyle, we need to test the infrastructure for the safety of the athletes. So it's a priority for us. So don't worry, we will do the maximum we can do.
Thank you. Thank you, Michel. Yeah, with the FIS games. So here the council.
Sorry, Mr. President. Sorry?
Yes?
May I ask another question? Could you please give us a short update about the situation in Crans-Montana 2022 as well?
So the short update here is that we are in close discussions with Swiss-Ski to find solutions to conclude a hosting agreement as soon as possible. Yeah, the next point on the agenda relates to the 28th edition of the FIS Games. So we discussed this in the council yesterday, and we have decided here to postpone the announcement of the hosts of the FIS Games 28 to a future council meeting. Just for your information, this is quite a complex undertaking. It's new. It's very exciting, but it requires careful preparation, careful analysis. So that to be prudent, we have taken this decision. A brief update related to FIS publications. Nothing changes here, so the international ski calendar will be published exclusively online. The yearly FIS bulletin will be published after this Congress in autumn. And an online version will be prepared for the FIS book of reports comprising information from all committees between 22 and 24. And for item 15, indeed, we have 2 requests to join the ski and snowboard community as associate members. One from Qatar, and a last-minute proposal that we received from Guinea-Bissau. If this Congress has an opposition to any of these 2 proposals, I ask you to raise your hands now. Don't see any raised hands, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. And in that case, I'm very proud to welcome both Qatar and Guinea-Bissau to FIS as associate members. So welcome to the ski and snowboard family. Let's move on to item number 16, report on the accounts, report of the auditors, and vote on the adoption of the accounts since the last financial period. So I'd like to welcome on stage Stefan Roof, our Chief Financial Officer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to present the first time consolidated financial figures for the year 2022 and the year 2023. Due to some changes in line with the Swiss Code of Obligations in accounting, we also recognized in 2023 the full revenue of the Olympic Games 2022. That is the main increase in revenue compared to 2022. The financial income decreased compared to 2022 because the Council decided that we want to only invest in very, very stable and guaranteed bonds from governments. Johan?
Yes. So, any questions on the accounts? No questions? In that case, anybody objects to approving these accounts? So if so, raise your hands. Don't see any hands raised, so I take the accounts as approved. Thank you very much. Then let's get to, we also have the budget. We should put up on the screen. Or is that only sent out? Ah, sorry. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Stefan, for that outline. So the next agenda item is subscriptions and calendar fees. So the Council at its meeting yesterday approved the last-minute proposal regarding the calendar registration fees, and this concerns the amendments for the para classification and the para Nordic World Cup, as you can see on the screen. For all other subscriptions and calendar fees for the season 24-25, the Council and its Finance Commission have submitted to Congress a proposal to approve the subscriptions and calendar fees based on the fees approved for the period 22-23. If you have any questions, I don't see any questions, so if you're opposed to approving the subscriptions and calendar fees based on the fees approved for the period 22-23, raise your hands. I don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Then that takes us to the budget. Stefan. over to you.
So we updated the forecast with the expected new income accordingly. So the 2024 forecast is now updated. For the budget 25, we have the income from the World Championship of about 26 million. All other amounts are steady in line with prior years, and there is no change.
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Shearer.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Roof. A short question. As FIS has heavily invested, especially in human resources, also in the field of media and marketing, I hope that sooner or later this investment will pay off for the entire FIS family and that we can increase the revenues when it comes to the World Cup revenues and the other revenue streams. So we all are looking forward to see then that investments are paying off and that we all are having even higher increases. So this is only a short note from our side.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. That is what we're all investing towards, and that is what we all want to see. And thank you for that remark. Thank you very much. So, with that, I think we have concluded the budget, unless there are any other questions. Yeah, another question.
Thank you again. Being the treasurer of the International Biathlon Union and having there also a standard, I think I would strongly recommend for future edition of the FIS Congresses that the elected auditors is also present and to give a short report, because I think this is standard in many other international federations that also the elected auditors are on site, and if there are any questions you can ask them. So I would hope that the newly elected council takes this into consideration and is elaborating on this possibility. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Christian. We'll note that. Thank you. The next point on the agenda is the appointment of an external audit company for the financial period 2024, and the Council and its Audit Committee would like to propose Ernst & Young as the auditors for 2024. Please raise your hands if you're opposed. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Ernst & Young are hereby appointed as auditors for 2024. Which takes us to point 20 on the agenda, in which you will vote for representatives in the Council, as well as members of standing committees. So let's start with the confirmation of a para-athletes representative as Council member, as approved by the Congress in 2023. And the Council here proposes Adam Hall from New Zealand as the athlete representative para snow sports for the period 24 to 27. So if there is any opposition to this appointment, please raise your hands now. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Congratulations, Adam.
He's there, Adam.
Now on to the confirmation of independent ethics and compliance officer and FIS ethics committee chair and members. The Council has compiled a list of names for these positions, which we'll now vote. So the Council proposes to appoint the head of Sport Quest as independent ethics and compliance officer for the period ending 31st May 25. Please raise your hands if you're opposed. Don't see any hands, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now the Council proposes the appointment of Michael Belloff, KC, from Great Britain as chair of the Ethics Committee for the period ending 31st of May 27. Please raise your hands only if you're opposed to this appointment. Don't see any hands raised, so I take that as approved. Thank you very much. Now the Council would like to propose the confirmation of the following members of the Ethics Committee for the period ending 31st May 27. Those are Ann-Kristin Ramberg, Sweden, former Secretary General of the Swedish Law Society, Lord David Neuberger from the UK, former President of the UK Supreme Court, Nicholas Subinden, Swiss lawyer, Leanne O'Leary, solicitor from New Zealand, and I think we have one more member who's not on here. There we have him. And also for the period 1st of May 24 to 31st of May 28, Ian Hunt is a New Zealander lawyer. Yes?
Sorry, Mr. President. Short question. You know that there has been email exchange back and forth on the composition of the Ethics Commission. I think it needs to be noted that so far the Ethics Commission was not constituted according to the Constitution, which will now be the case with appointing an additional person. Secondly, unfortunately, there are still open cases from the FIS Congress in Milano 2022, which have not at all been dealt with. This is something which should the Congress know. And thirdly, I think that Ian Hunt is not eligible to be appointed because he's associated to a member federation serving on the board, and I think this is not in accordance with our rules.
Good points. So Ian Hunt, he has resigned from the New Zealand. All mandates.
Well, because according to the website, he is still on the board. So it is difficult then, because according to Snowsport New Zealand, their website, he is still on the board. So potentially New Zealand Federation can give us an update.
Yes, we have, if we ask our friends from New Zealand, if you can corroborate that Ian Hunt has resigned.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I can confirm that Ian Hunt has officially resigned from the board of Snow Sports New Zealand. Apologies, our website will be updated as soon as possible.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that confirmation, and the rest is noted. Thank you very much. So, with regards to these appointments, please raise your hands if you're opposed. Yes, Christian?
Yeah, still, the diversity is not given. Sorry, Mr. President. I think we have many, many federations, and we have two nationalities from, so we have four, or we have too many members coming from the same nationality. That's my own opinion. And I think this should also be reviewed, because we have two persons from Great Britain, citizen, we have two persons from New Zealand, and this is taking into account that the FIS family has such a great diversity and many nationalities in. I think we should try to find also alternatives to cover all regions of the world and not only some specific ones. Thank you.
So we should appoint lots of Austrian lawyers.
No, this is not the case, and this was not a request, but I think we should still work on it.
Yeah, we had
and there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, we had discussions about this, and let me point out here that one policy here that has been adopted is that on each time there is a case, there is a panel consisting of 3 people that are selected out of this pool of ethics commission members. Now, the idea here is to expand this committee to have a number of members to select from, because people are not available, and also to provide better diversity. And what, as a policy here, there will never be 2 members on a panel from the same country. So as a stipulation, every member has to be from a different country on a panel. But this is work in progress, and it is important that we have people that are highly qualified to perform this function. Yeah, clear. So with that, if there are no other questions, please raise your hands if you're opposed to any of these appointments. Yes? You are opposing, okay.
Dear Mr. President, just in regards to Christian's third question about the pending cases in Milano, could you also give a feedback there, please?
Those cases, I believe, are under review by the people that in our organization that are responsible for this. This is really something that they should elaborate on, and probably best done if you have any questions, that you of course contact them directly.
So far we unfortunately never had any chance to direct them or contact them directly. We were always put in circles, so it's difficult for us to understand why cases are open for 24 months and why the time being the minutes were published quite quickly with wrong information, and therefore I think this should be highest priority to solve these issues, because I think this is disrespectful also towards the member federation being kind of named in the former protocols and minutes.
I don't think. Sorry?
No, wrong information. Surprised you.
Again, as I said, this should be a matter for those people that are involved with this to deal with that, and we have processes to ensure that that everything is done on an independent basis. So again, let's move on with the vote for the committee members, if no one else has any questions. If anyone is opposed, please raise your hands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4, 5. Okay, thank you very much. Therefore, I take these appointments as approved. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next point. Which is leads us to the final point on the agenda, the election of 18 members of the Council. So here, I would like to start with the presentations from each of the new candidates to the Council, that is, those who are not running for re-election. And each of them will have 3 minutes for their presentation to the Congress. So I would ask all new candidates to please already come to the front of the auditorium, since shortly I will ask each of you to take the stage.
We have an order, huh? We should have an order. There's an order. You should have it here. Last page, the last one.
Yeah.
Starting Mickey Huber.
Yeah.
Then Frankelberg, then Spania, then Sages.
Yep. Okay. So let me start to call them up onto the stage in alphabetical order of the country that they represent, starting with Michael Huber from Austria.
Yes, yes.
Michael, please come up on stage.
Okay, I'm first one. Thank you, Mr. President, dear Council, dear FIS members, federations here inside. May I introduce myself shortly? My name is Michael Huber. I'm 59 years old, and I was involved in skiing, ski racing, and all that similar things since close most of my life. The Austrian Ski Federation nominated me as a candidate based on my experience, what I have to prove, my knowledge. I have since many years my personality and my integrity, and I'm proud of that to have proved it since, let's say, 30 years that I am a professional in this business. I am fully involved in the Hahnenkamm races, the Alpine World Cup events in Kitzbühel as the responsible chairman, but I'm also in full support for the local ski club, the Kitzbühel Ski Club, for all the winter sport youth and children programs, not just Alpine, also Nordic and all the transports. In that role, I am in constant exchange with local officials from the Tyrolean Ski Federation, the Austrian Federation, and the International Ski and Snowboard Federation, and I think I have a good relationship and networking with all of them. I had the honor to act as chairman of the FIS subcommittee for Alpine rules for more than 15 years, and since a few years I also try to improve and to support with the Alpine Subcommittee World Cup and the Advertising Committee. My nomination, I have 5, let's say, kind of goals. First, my goal is to act as a unifying person between FIS and all those federations, and as you know, there are always a lot of different opinions, but I am well known for I try to unify those different opinions to have a good familiar together. Second, I would like to support the decision-making process in FIS. I am completely a democratic person and I always will follow the majority opinion. Third, again, my focus will always be on sports. This is what I consider as my main guideline to vote for. Number 4, as it's my specific area and experience in organizing, I would try to support adjusting the organization of our International Ski and Snowboard Federation to modern needs. And finally, I respect competition as a principle of achieving excellence. So it sounds simple, but I think I know that it's the highest responsible possible to be in the FIS Council, and so if I get your votes, I would serve and support your needs for all of us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Michael. And Anna, you're next.
Thank you. Dear ski and snowboard friends, did you know that in Iceland there are no mosquitoes? Not one. In the Netherlands there are more bicycles than people. In Australia there are 3 times as many sheep as humans. There are 448 languages in South America, 220 in North America, 273 in Central America. The average Brit says sorry 8 times a day. Finger fighting is a real sport in Germany. Ukrainians celebrate New Year's twice a year. In Argentina, football hero Maradona has his own religion. In Tokyo, Japan, nearly 3 million people cross the street every day at the Shibuya crossing. That's half the population of my country, Denmark. All of us in this room are different. We come from different cultures, we have different perspectives, but as you know, we have something very important in common: the passion for our sport and the motivation to develop our sport. That's why we're here together today. We should use this to work even closer, to strengthen the dialogue, and to work together to reach our common goals, and to always remember that we are family, even if we don't always agree. So who am I? I'm from Denmark, a small country with no mountains and no snow, a little bit south of here. 10% of the Danes go skiing and snowboarding once every year, at least once every year, in many of your countries, because at home we ski on green plastic and on wheels. I'm the president of the Danish Ski Federation and have been for a decade. In my NSA, I've created an important shift in strategy that has led to significant growth. I'm also on the board of the Danish Olympic Committee and Sports Confederation, where I especially work with creating a close dialogue with the 62 sports federations, who are also very different, in order to understand their individual needs. In my day job, I help companies reach their full potential and be relevant in an ever-changing world. It's this experience with emphasis on strategy and communications that I'm putting forward today. I hope that you agree with me that we should use our shared passion and different perspectives to secure the future of our sport. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. That was very efficient. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. May, your turn next. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, dear FIS President, General Secretary, members of the Council, National Ski Associations Presidents, FIS family. First of all, it's an honor to be here in front of you. My name is José María Peus España, but all of you know me as Mai. My journey started as a very passionate young athlete skiing in our place, in the ski resort. Over the years, I have been working for one of the biggest ski clubs in Spain. After 20 years, I became president of Spain Snow. During this period, 10 years, we achieved many great things. We won some medals in the last two past Olympic Games. It's why I decided to run for the FIS Council, because I think it's a little bit an obligation, and why not? I want to try to work and together with you all. Let me talk a little bit about the future, because we are here to talk about the future, and I would like to share with you my mission and my vision if ever I am in the Council. The mission is to help our snow sport to grow sustainability, to grow fairly, to grow over the world. I would like to promote excellence in integrity, in inclusion and sustainability. And the vision will be very clear. I want to make our snow sport more accessible for the society, more successful, and even more fun. On this way, for sure, we're going to have more skiers and more snowboarders in our ski resort, helping as well our snow sport industry. I think it's very important to have this very good partnership with the snow sport industry. I will inspire people to love our winter sports, snow sports. Joining the FIS Council is a chance to drive to a chance. With my sport and business background, I'm ready. I will be focused to try to make these goals through. Finally, I want to take some time to to wish all the best to my colleagues. They are a very great persons with very good projects. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, this time to share with you my achievements, my journey, my mission, and my vision. Thank you very much for your support, and see you on the snow. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Fabien, please take the floor.
Dear ski fans, dear NSA members, as you can see on my short notice, my involvement within the snow sport family is not new. And I am extremely motivated to bring it to the next level. Therefore, I would like to state my willingness to represent all our interests and bring my experience as well as my ideas to the highest level. If you elected me in the FIS Council, I will act for development of snow sport and their visibility in every nation around the world. If it's only implementing core changes and working together that we'll be able to tackle the challenges that we are facing, we need to foster modern governance, enhance transparency, guarantee gender equality, promote diversity, stimulate grassroots participation, and take the lead on the climate change by developing a more sustainable approach across all of our practices. FIS is our family, and it's our duty to take care of each other. I also wish to underline the athletes are the showcase of our sports, and as decision makers, we are accountable to them. That is why I'm particularly mindful that we provide them with the tools and conditions to fulfill their ambitions in a sound environment. As you understood, I will be, if you elected me in the Council, dedicated to achieving the best for the future of snow sport. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabien. Suka.
Hello, my ski and snowboard friends. It's a great pleasure for me to stay here because I'm from Georgia, small country. I was 10 years, last 10 years, for president of Georgian Ski Federation. This period we organized both ski and snowboard world championship freestyle in 2023, 2024 junior world championship of snowboard cross, world tour, freeride world tour in Georgia, and I think it's a big chance to open the doors to small countries to host it more competition and more World Cups events, and I think it's future for our federation because new regions, new countries who hosted same World Cups or World Championship. Yes, I think it's step by step. It's better to open, but not easy to give the chance small nations. But okay, I think for future it's big chance to small nations that opens the door to organize more events. Thank you.
Thank you, Suka. Freddie, you're next.
Mr. President, Council members, National Ski Federation representatives,
I'm here today, candidate for the election of the new council. I represent my country, Lebanon, as president of the Lebanese Ski Federation. For more than 20 years, I've been working with many of you in development of sport skiing in the small country through constructive collaboration between the FIS, the Asian Federation, and the CES committee. In fact, being present around the table of decision will facilitate the interaction and the diversity between major and developed country and the small one. I will help small nations gaining experience in the skiing field and identifying their needs and aspirations. Skiing should be developed in every country, and small nations must enhance the sport in their grounds. This goal will be achieved only when the efforts are combined within the family of the International Ski Federation. My aim is to enhance the solidarity of the International Federation family and to preserve the lofty value upon which we established our federation. I now promise you that I will raise the voice of the small nation on the table, and I will be the advocate of the big nation by all means, once you will grant me the chance to be elected. I will ensure the cooperation with the council members through collective work and continuous proposition for project enhancements. Therefore, I would like to ask you to vote for me to translate my words into action. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Alex, you're up.
Dear President, dear Secretary General, dear Council member, dear delegates, I'm still impressed about the speed in this Congress, and dear Johan, your talent as a forerunner pays out today in downhill. I'm really impressed about that. Apart from this, Liechtenstein, it's a country with a long-standing tradition in skiing, has nominated me as council, and I'm really honored to stand here. However, once elected, I am aware I have to change my head. I consider it as my duty as council member to do everything in the best interest of the FIS and its member states. The FIS is an association, a Swiss Verein. Verein or Vereinigung, respectively, means to unite. And that's what we should do. We should unite in the best interest of our sports and athletes. I think good corporate governance would help to give some transparency, to understanding against each other, and to help to cooperate in the best interest of our association. With this mission, I'm grateful for your support and thanking you for your attention.
Thank you. Tove.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, and dear ski friends. I would love to start with Liverpool manager Bill Shankly's famous quote. Some people think football is a matter of life or death. I can't assure them it is much more serious than that. As you know, the world of football is filled with difficult dilemmas and ever-changing challenges. This has been my world for 18 years, being the venue director and CAO of Norwegian largest football club, Rosenborg. I have traveled the world with football to very many places and countries where also ski sport is present. My broad experience from football has given me important insight on who to deal with both challenges and constructive solution. My mission on moving forward in travel water is together as a team. The nature of sport, better together. And like football, we need to focus on creating the best possible position for our athletes, fans, and partners. Alongside my football career, I have been a board member at the Norway Ski Federation for 12 years, the last 2 years as a president. In my private life, I have 3 active skiing kids, one of them twice a cross-country world champion. So for me, to be a governed part of skiing, being the national sport in Norway, is a honor. I hope you will give me the possibility to use my experience to contribute in guiding FIS as a part of your team to upcoming 2 years. I know it will be both challenging and developing, and together we will find solutions for our skiing future. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Tove. Pedro, you're next.
Dear President, dear Secretary General, dear Council members, dear colleagues, dear candidates, dear FIS family, it's with great enthusiasm that I'm here and that I stand for you to express my candidacy. A candidacy centered on embracing the power of snow sports and uniting individuals of all backgrounds through a shared love to the sport. As we look towards the future of winter sports, it is imperative that we not only preserve our traditions, but also pave the way for a new generation of snow enthusiasts. I aspire to bring more people to the snow, to ignite a spark in the hearts of those who have yet to experience the wonderful feeling of gliding down a powdery mountain. Central to our vision in the involvement of youth, the lifeblood of the sports legacy, by creating projects that resonate with today's youth, integrating social network, special events, and healthy lifestyles. We can ignite a passion of snow sports that transcends generations and cultures, nurturing a vibrant and inclusive community. In our mission to develop the sport globally, we must not overlook the potential of emerging nations, providing support, resources, and mentorship to cultivate a love for snow sports in regions where the snow-capped peaks are a canvas for dreams yet to be realized. Together, we can uplift these nations and empower their athletes to compete on the world stage. And let us not forget the powerhouses of winter sports, the giants whose names we all respect. Collaboration between nations, big and small, paves the way for a stronger, more inclusive community, where every voice is heard and every dream is within reach. So, my fellow delegates, let us embrace on this journey of innovation, inclusion, and collaboration, united by our shared passion for snow sports and fueled by the belief that every leap, every turn, and every moment on the snow holds the promise of greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. Jean-Philippe, please. The floor is yours.
Mr. President, member of the snow sports community, dear friends, I feel right now more or less like in starting gate years ago at the start of a downhill. Certainly not fearful, not fearless, respectful, but fully motivated. Some of you know that my candidature was not blind. I must say my future retirement plan was rather to ski more and not to contribute to the administration of our sport. But there is a logic today behind that. First of all, because sports have been a major cornerstone in everything I've achieved in my life. Skiing has shaped my personality, my activity from a modest career of an athlete to my activity as a sports executive, all stage, president of ski club to vice president of ski federation. So I'm really happy and proud to have the opportunity to give back a bit what has been brought, what is still be giving to me through sports, and this is the first reason for me to be candidate. The second one is other. It has been said today, we are in a critical time because I believe we must be honest between ourselves. The sport, it has been also partially said this morning, our sport face profound changement, social, economical, environmental, and there is a need for changing. No reason to be pessimistic or no reason to fear. Our sports still attract young generation. We have a fantastic, tremendous commercial potential if we can increase our globalization, and I'm glad to hear that there are new federations coming in. But if we cannot tackle those issues, being united, having a shared vision, and showing solidarity and transparency, those are two words which have been used by certain of my colleagues before, then our sports will face an uncertain future. So, talking about solidarity, that means first solidarity to the national federations. You are the backbone of the international federation. What does it mean? That probably means more decentralization, that probably means more targeted resources. You in the federation know better than anyone else where to allocate those means in order to develop the sports in your region. And you know how to keep alive this magic natural pyramid with grassroots sports on the base and elite sports on the top. Transparency is also used, which has been used. Governance, not only words, that's simple, but a simple governance, establishing and creating platforms for dialogue, platform for debate, where you can agree sometime, where you can agree to disagree, and then where you can find compromise. This is the only way within the federation, within the international federation, to move forward. And it's certainly better, and I speak as a lawyer, than a bundle of regulations which you open at the moment of a dispute and that even lawyers have sometimes difficulty to understand. So I hope we can reach that. Dear friends, there is a need for evolution of our sports. I'm ready in the starting gate to throw down the slope with you. I hope I can count on your support. You can count certainly on my commitment. I would be very proud to bring my independence. It will be absolute, to bring my experience in order to help our sports, our federation, to enter into this new era based on principle of solidarity, of diversity of the national federation, and among everything, of friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. Next is Karin Mattsson. But Karin, I think, is planning a comeback. So she's had hip replacements. And we should all wish her a speedy recovery. So in her place is Stefan Bessman, who will, I'm sure, give a very good presentation and expose of what Karin wants to do. And again, we're sad not to have her here. Floor is yours, Stefan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear Mr. President, dear members of council, dear delegates, thank you for this opportunity to address you today. My name is Stefan Bessman. I'm the Vice President of the Swedish Ski Association, and as Mr. President said, I'm here today to say a few words on behalf of the Swedish nominee for council, Mrs. Karin Mattsson. She cannot be here in person today because of a recent hip surgery. The doctor says, don't fly, don't travel by air. And she really wanted to be here and was thinking of sailing here. Scandinavians have done so before, but we talked her out of that. So who is Karin? Karin has been the president of Swedish skiing since 2018, when she took over after Mats Orjes. Karin, at that time, had a very long and solid background as a leader in sports, and that was why Swedish skiing asked her to take on the task as president. Already back in the 1990s, she was elected to the board of the Swedish Confederation of Sports, which governs all sports in Sweden, consisting of more than 70 NSAs, organizing almost every sport you can think of, and then some you can't think of. In 2005, she was elected president of that confederation, the first woman ever to be so, and served in that position for 10 years. When she stepped down in 2015, she was appointed honorary president, a position she still holds. During that same period, she served as treasurer of the European non-governmental sports organization, ENGSO, for 7 years. And during her long service, she won both respect and appreciation from several Swedish governments for her ability to lead such a diverse association, where the varying interests of all members, big and small, have to be listened to, understood, and respected. That kind of leadership is based on good governance, transparency, grassroots democracy, and perhaps above all, the ability to find middle ground and good compromises when needed. This way of leadership is in line with Swedish tradition of building strong organizations on the basis of cooperation and grassroots democracy as foundations. And this is what Karin stands for and will bring with her if she is elected to council. But she will also bring with her the understanding of need for innovation and new thinking, not least commercially. Karin is on the board of the Swedish Hockey League, which very successfully built and has maintained a strong economy from media rights and other sources for the benefit of the organizing clubs and the athletes. And Swedish skiing has been open to innovation for a long time, and we remain so. Those of you who are ski jumpers know from where the guy came who invented the V-style. And many remember that Super G was invented because of another Swedish guy called Ingemar. And the first freerider to jump over a train on camera was Swedish. Karin will continue to take skiing forward with innovation. But also the past is important. To know where to go and how to get there, you need to know where you come from. Sweden has been a member of FIS from the day it was founded, 100 years ago. Its first president was Swedish. Sweden contributed back then on the basis of the long tradition of skiing that we have, and we've been skiing for a long time. In fact, the oldest skis that still exist are Swedish. According to carbon dating, they are more than 5,000 years old. So the past and the present of skiing need to be understood in order to form a basis for a successful future of skiing and the entire skiing family. And you can trust Karin. I know her well enough, having worked with her for more than 10 years, that if she is elected to council, that she will contribute to making sure that the future of skiing will be successful for all of us, the big and the small, and for all events, big and small, together. Finally, I would like to extend, on behalf of the Swedish Ski Association, a heartfelt thank you to Mats Orjes, who have served as a member of council for more than 10 years. Thank you, Mats. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Stefan. And finally, Dexter. Floor is yours.
This is a tough position as I'm standing between you and the end of the Congress, so I'll try to move quickly. Dear Mr. President, esteemed members of the FIS Council, National Federation Presidents and Secretary Generals, and all of our snow sports friends, I'm honored to stand here before you today as a candidate for the FIS Council and to share my vision for the future of skiing and snowboarding. For over 30 years, I have dedicated my life to snow sports, serving on the FIS Council as chairman of the FIS Para Committee, as chair of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Federation for 13 years, and on the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. I've been deeply involved in the organization of 3 FIS World Championships in America, and am currently actively engaged in the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee for the Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games 2034. These experiences have provided me with unique perspective and a deep understanding of the complexities of our FIS family. I believe my background, coupled with my business experience as a founder and chair of a successful global private equity business, positions me to make valuable contributions to the FIS Council. My goal is to work collaboratively with all of you and to ensure the growth and prosperity of our sports, while always putting our athletes first. We may have differing opinions on the best way forward, but we are united by our shared passion for skiing and snowboarding. It is this diversity that gives us tremendous potential to thrive and evolve. If elected to the FIS Council, I promise to listen to all of your views and advocate for the best interests of all of our sports. Together, we can overcome the challenges we face and find solutions and benefits. By leveraging my U.S. network, I am committed to supporting the commercial development and sustainable growth of all of our sports, especially with the upcoming 2034 Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City. I also understand that if I'm elected, I'm a FIS Council member who's a fiduciary and represents all FIS national federations, both big and small. Let us work together to make our sports more exciting, elevate our athletes, and cultivate a global fan base that spans across all disciplines and all countries. Together, we can create a future that's brighter and more promising than ever before. Thank you for your support and consideration. Let us move forward together towards a successful and prosperous future for skiing and snowboarding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the candidates for their presentations. I'm sure that the members of the Congress appreciate the background and information. You all have received the Congress book, which outlines the statutory conditions for this election, but since we're talking about a rather elaborate process, I would like to give the floor to Stefan Netzle so he can take us through the voting procedure one more time.
Thank you very much. So the voting procedure is, as the President just told you, is set out in Article 10.10.3 of the statutes and on page 79 of the Congress book. Those are the relevant statutory provisions of how we are going to vote the 18 members of the Congress, of the Council. There will be one single voting round for all 18 members. Now, you should all be logged in now to Lumi, and please let me know if anyone has any problems with logging in, because we would like to, if there is some problem, we can do that before voting so that we have all the possibility to vote. So please say if you have any problems with logging in. Otherwise, we have double-checked now with Lumi in the meantime so that we are clear about those who can vote. Okay, I don't see any hands, so therefore let me continue to summarize. Please, there will be one single voting round. I said you have to enter 18 names in your ballot. You cannot leave a line blank. If you enter less than 18 names, you cannot push the send button and the vote does not go through. That will be an abstention. So fill all 18 lines. Your list of 18 must also meet the minimum requirements of gender and smaller member federations. This means the list must contain at least 3 female candidates and 3 male candidates. It must also contain 1 candidate from a member association with 2 votes and 1 candidate from a member association with 1 vote. If you go to page 80 of the Congress book, you see how many votes the respective member federations have. There is one gap here. Slovenia has 3, is a 3-vote member federation. It may be that 1 candidate meets 2 such requirements, namely a female candidate proposed by a member association with 1 or 2 votes. That's possible. So that if that is the case, then that person would meet 2 requirements and you do not have to add 1 more. The results of all candidates will be shown on the screen after the votes have been counted. Are there any questions from your side about the voting procedure for the 18 council members?
And is everyone connected? If you're not connected, raise your hand, please. Okay, any questions? Okay, in that case, let's proceed with the vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. And the next item is item 21. So please select 18 candidates to be council members, and the vote is now open. And just as a gentle reminder, please remember to press the send button to submit your vote. It is at the bottom of the list of candidates, and if you do not press send, your vote is not submitted.
see number of votes. Huh? I mean, I think really they can see number of votes and how much I've voted, how much remained. So they can say yes, everyone is voting.
Just to update the delegates, we've received the majority of delegates' votes, but we will keep the vote open to allow sufficient time for everyone to vote. And just as a reminder, please, to press the send button to submit your vote. Thank you.
May I suggest, is there anyone who has not completed the voting? Raise your hands.
Hungary.
And China. China, do you require assistance? Okay.
Normally, Rumi should see that, no? They should see the...
Okay.
Ask Rumi, no?
Anyone requiring more time or assistance? Okay. Lumi, can you confirm that everybody has cast their votes?
Thank you, Mr. President. No, not everybody has voted yet, and we're still checking those who have voted to make sure that the votes are all valid. Thank you.
Yeah, Lord.
Mr. President, just to update you, we just have a few delegates who haven't voted, so we're just checking on them just to check if they need any assistance. Thank you.
Feeling they have voted, but they have not. They have not pushed the button themselves.
What do we do here? Do we call them out and ask them? We can help.
As long as
Is that
we don't
okay?
know which country is specific.
We can ask them.
Ask the country. If we know the country, we can ask something, but as we don't
Apparently Lumi knows.
know. Lumi knows.
I don't know. Lumi, could we have an update, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We're still, not everybody has voted yet, and we're also still waiting for some invalidated votes to be validated. Thank you.
Would it make sense if we can have the list of those who have not voted, so perhaps we can assist?
Thank you, Mr. President, but Timothy should have the list. Thank you.
Could you perhaps forward them to me? Apologies for this. This should not take this long. Okay.
Chris came to me again with this young out. He said he's not eligible because he's still on the board of the New Zealand Federation.
No, he's resigned.
He resigned. He said, no, just check. He showed me the
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. But if it's your preference that the vote is closed, we can proceed with that, which will mean that any invalid votes will not be counted. Would you like us to proceed on that basis? Thank you.
No, I think we should try to sort out so everybody has the opportunity here to cast their vote. So we have the list, I take it. So we can therefore give this an extra few minutes, try to assist those countries.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm sorry for this, but there's a connection problem with one country. We're trying to get in contact. It's one of the remote attendees. We'll give this a few more seconds, and then we will close the vote. So, Amanda, any news? No response? Jelena? No news, you can't get hold of okay. Can somebody... So, Lumi, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare the vote as closed, so please give us the results as soon as you have them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I confirm the vote is now closed, and we will let you have the results as soon as they're available. Thank you.
While we are waiting for the results, a couple of things that I'd like to address. One is a huge thank you to the members of the FIS staff and Michelle for putting on this spectacular production. And it's so much work that goes into this, so much planning for months to make this happen. So I propose that we give a member of the FIS staff, all the members, and of course also Michelle, a big round of applause. Thank you, everybody. And secondly, I would also like to extend a huge thank you to our hosts, the Icelandic Ski Federation, also the Icelandic people, for having us here. We've had a wonderful time, great hospitality, and I think we all look forward to coming back here very soon. So thank you, Iceland. Thank you. Now, another point that I'd like to make here is that immediately after the council election, after the Congress is closed, all the newly elected council members and everybody, including those, not only the new candidates who have been elected, but all of the new council should stay behind here in the room because we're going to do a group photo. So it's important that we have you all here for that. And that will be done immediately after the Congress. Another thank you that I'd like to extend, particularly with the statutes, and a lot of work that has gone in there is our ESG committee, and in particular Stefano Arnhold from the Brazilian Ski Federation, who is now one of the new pretenders for glory in alpine disciplines, with a very strong team, I see. So thank you very much, Stefan. Yeah, before we get the results, there is one candidate who has been on the council for a very long time, 14 years, who has served as treasurer, vice president, and it's our council member from Sweden, Mats Arjes. And first of all, I'd like to propose him for honorary council membership. So unless anyone is opposed to that, well, again, raise your hands. Well, it goes without saying. Congratulations, Mats. Yep, so, and another piece of information for the newly elected council members is that we'll be having our first council meeting online on the 4th of July. So that'll be yeah, very soon. And so you should put that down in your diaries. Yes.
Dear Mr. President, may I use the little gap we have before the announcement of the council election, as it took unusual long, this whole procedure now with the election, we would like to ask for the detailed LUMI protocol afterwards, that we just have seen what happened in this last 20 to 30 minutes. I think this is in favor of many NSA. Thank you.
I think that's an excellent idea. It's also in our interest, because this should not happen. This is something that we will definitely scrutinize and bring up for discussion with LUMI. So thank you for that.
But since it's obviously the third time that we have issues with LUMI, so maybe we can reconsider if this system is really the right one for us.
Yes, thank you for being so direct. Okay. So do we have a result? LUMI, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have results which should be now displayed. Thank you.
Okay. So we have the results. So I'll read them out. So Enzo Smrekar, 121 votes. Flavio Roda, 118. Jean-Philippe Rochat, 117. Dexter Payne, 116. Michael Huber, 115. Karin Mattsson, 114. Aki Murasato, 113. Deidre Dion, 110. Fabian Sages, 110. Anna Falkenberg, 106. May Pius, 102. Tove Dyrhaug, 102. Fredrik Eiros, 101. Frans Steinle, 99. Fiona Stevens, 97. Tseko Minev, 95. Marti Usitalo, 95. Dean Gosper, 80. Roman Compost, 75. Alex Ospelt, 74. Patrick Toussaint, 73. Surab Kostava, 60. And Pedro Faromba, 57. And that means that, unfortunately, the last 5 on the list.
Liechtenstein must be in.
Sorry?
Liechtenstein as the best one.
Yes. So that means that the ones who are not elected are Pedro Faromba, Surab Kostava, Patrick Toussaint, Roman Compost, and Dean Gosper. So I believe that concludes the vote. And let me say this, that I'd like to extend special thanks to Roman Compost, who has been a council member for 14 years. And also Dean Gosper, who has been a council member for 14 years too. And it goes without saying that I would like to propose both Dean and Roman as honorary council members. Are there any objections to that? I take that as approved. So congratulations to your appointment as honorary council members, Dean and Roman. And I hope that we will be able to continue our collaboration on other levels. And then I'd also like to ask Patrick Toussaint. Patrick, thank you for the 2 years. And again, thank you, Andorra, for really pushing hard, and we hope also that Andorra will be future world champion host. So with that, I'm pleased to say we have covered a lot today, and in record time, and there's no other business to be added to the agenda. But let me, Therese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick question, and it might be just a clarification. I know we're all very excited to move forward. It is a unified fist around a huge opportunity in front of us around media rights centralization. Of course, a lot of the benefits of that will start to flow in 26, 27, and beyond. And this may require a new approach to how we present budgets to drive some clarity around that. One of the immediate benefits, of course, is the signing bonus, which we take note has been now placed in the 2024 budget, appropriately so. However, what we don't see is the distribution associated with that in 2024, 25, 26. The distributions appear to be the same planned distributions that we've had in recent years. So the question, I'd have, and we can sort out budgets later, is just more, clarity around intent. Is the intent of the incremental signing bonus to be leading to incremental distributions or simply funding our current distributions? If you could provide some clarity on that around intent, that would be super helpful. And of course, it would be a task for new council to work out the budget and presentation of that.
So, Therese, this has in fact been communicated previously. And this is an additional distribution. And in addition to that, we have, call it the regular statutory, not statutory, but the regular distributions that we make on top of this special, call it special dividend from this in-front agreement. And of course, when it comes to budgets, presentations of numbers, we have made an important change today, which is to make sure that you all have the budget much earlier on. And that means that you will have it 21 days before the Congress, as opposed to getting it last minute after the Council has approved it a day before the Congress. So this is an important improvement to make also the budget more transparent and more informative, because budget should also be informative in terms of what we do and try to achieve.
Thank you for that clarification. I would then therefore expect to see an incremental 15 million if that 30 million is to be distributed over 2 years in the FIS distributions, which can be, I think, adjusted later.
So we have 10 plus 5. And I think this was, if it's not clear from the documentation that we have shown today, that is certainly something that will be further clarified. But that should not be an issue at all. Thank you for that. So, yes.
May I also refer a short remark to your report and to your outlook for the upcoming years. So just to avoid any misunderstanding, yes, it's true that we have made some progress regarding the potential centralization in the recent days, especially here in Iceland. But however, we are still quite far away from being able to speak on an agreement here. And I know that here in this room are quite a lot of federations who feel the same way. So as already mentioned on several occasions, if we as associations would have been involved from the beginning, the entire process would have been much more effective overall. So at the same time, we have repeatedly expressed our dissatisfaction with the way the ICRs were changed a few weeks ago, almost by force, if I may say so. So even though we have now been informed that this change is to be reversed, this is definitely not the way we should treat each other within the FIS. However, the fact remains that the so-called MRCA is still underdeveloped in its current form, both in terms of content and structure, and that it means we still have some relevant key points to clarify, and we will certainly need more time to carefully revise the entire structure. So we must be honest about that, but I think it should be in the interest of all of us and for the benefit of ski sports. So thank you.
Well, let me say that, first of all, we hear the opposite when it comes to the proposed centralization agreement, where many federations have come up and said we're ready to sign. There are a few federations, yours is one of them, that we have not agreed terms with. So that's noted. Now, with regards to, you say here by force, I mean, what we have here is a council decision. We are a democracy, and a healthy democracy, there are different views. But we are a democracy, and democracy voted for a rule change. So I don't think to categorize that as by force is either fair or correct. And finally, in that regard, just to clarify here, the further ICR changes, that's subject to council decisions, and we have not even put anything like that on the agenda, and this is, of course, dependent on outcomes of discussions and negotiations. But I am confident, together with many of your colleagues, that we shall find a solution. So, yes, Mr. Scherer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I just wanted to highlight the fact that we should really take care that the council decision is not creating financial damages for a federation, as this ICR change is creating an immediate financial damage to the Austrian Ski Federation. But this is something we can anyway discuss in a smaller group, I think. But we need to avoid such decisions in the future. Otherwise, we all know that we need to protect the rights also of our companies / federations. So this is something we should take into account. And secondly, we are very happy also for catching up the comments of Canada that this 10 or 50 million are to be added to the distribution. So thank you very much for this effort and this financial support to the entire FIS family.
Thank you. And this has come as a result of the hard work that we have put in to find an agreement with Infront, which was by most never expected. And yeah, there's been a lot of hard work to achieve that position. And that is a benefit that should hopefully serve the sport very well, and particularly you, our members. Now, before we finish the Congress, let me share with you some information from yesterday's Council regarding the upcoming editions. So the 25 Congress is planned to take place online on June 13. And Belgrade, Serbia, will host the Congress in 26, which is planned for 10 and 11th of June. The appointment of the host of the 28th International Ski Congress has been postponed to the occasion of next year's Congress. So with that, I thank you yet again to our Icelandic friends for hosting us, and thanks to all the viewers who joined us online on FIS TV today. And thanks to all of you here for taking an active part in shaping the future of snow sports. It's the only way we can get things done, and that is together. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I declare the 2024 International Ski Congress closed. And all of you have a great rest of the day. Enjoy Iceland and a safe trip back home. Thank you.